Well, guess where we're at?
I don't have to guess, I know.
You know. Yeah. We are at the airport waiting for our daughter.
Woo!
Woo-hoo!
Christmas is here!
Yay!
First time that she gets to see Charleston.
Yep.
And our new house.
Yep.
And she hasn't seen the puppy in forever. And yeah.
We're just a bit excited.
Yeah.
Bit excited. We're going to do some fun things with her today. It's supposed to rain the next couple days that she's here, but today
it's going to snow.
Is beautiful. Well,
it's Snowmageddon coming.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to come to Charleston, but maybe. But today
It'll
it's
be a
a
white
crisp
Christmas just for us.
Today it's a crisp mid 40s or low 50s by later this afternoon, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's not going to get out of the 40s.
It's not going to get out of the 40s. And we're going to go on a carriage ride, and we're going to drive around town, and we're going to go to King Street shopping area.
Go out to the plantations.
Go out to the plantations and show her those. So it's going to be fun. And we'll share some of it with you. Yes. Well, just as I predicted, they were moved. So now I've got to do the math in my head. Now there's 5 more days till Christmas because it's December 20th. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. There we go. Oh, it's a candy cane. Let's put that right there. Nice. All right, we are getting ready to go on an hour-long historic Charleston carriage tour. This is the place we're at. I don't know if that's the particular one we're gonna be in or not, but it is gonna be horse-drawn. Looking forward to it. We got on the first row. That'll be fun. So we can see when the horse poops. Our horse's name is Wyatt, and he is a Belgian draft horse. And it's really cool because our tour guide is a historical author of fiction, writes a lot of history in fiction form of the Charleston area called the Rice King series.
Y'all want to hazard a wild guess as to why they would call this church strip?
A lot of churches. Churches fried chicken.
In the state of South Carolina, that is the old gunpowder magazine. There was a law in South Carolina back in the early 1700s. You could only have 25 pounds of gunpowder at your house or your place of business. All the rest of it had to be stored back there. Now, they were scared to death that thing exploded. You can imagine living close to that thing. So they took some precautions. They made the walls back there 3 feet thick made of brick. But they only made the ceilings 2 feet thick made of brick. The idea was the path of least resistance. They thought if there was an explosion, it would go up, not come out. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Cromwell, that was Oliver Cromwell. And he and the king got in this argument, and they settled the argument by fighting the English Civil War. The king lost the war. Worse for him, though, he lost his head after that shortly. And the Puritans ruled England. Little Chuck fled to the continent where he was in exile for 10 years. And those Puritans, folks, they were a no-fun crowd. They outlawed dancing. No dancing in England. They got away with that for a few years. Then they outlawed.
Okay, so the carriage ride tour seemed to cut off in an interesting spot. As we were riding along the tour, I just realized I'm not going to video all of this. And the tour guide was really entertaining. He was good. He knew his stuff, clearly. But a fascinating way that the tours in Charleston work so that the roads can be maintained a bit well, because the rides right there downtown, you know, they stop up traffic pretty much. And if all the tours were going to all the same locations, it would just be a nightmare. So when you book a tour in Charleston on these carriage rides, you can't select which tour you're going to get, what locations. It's sort of a lottery. You get on your carriage, and then the carriage goes by this particular spot that the city operates, and there is a group of people there that take the driver's credentials and what tour it is, and then different color ping pong balls pop up from this little machine, and it tells them what route. There's 5 possible routes that they go on, and it's just the luck of the draw what you're going to get. And we got a tour that, I mean, we saw a couple interesting sites. I mean, obviously all of it's good and historical, and the driver made the most of it, but we didn't get to see the more popular sites that I wanted to show our daughter. And so we were just going into weird neighborhoods. The Powder House was fascinating, and hearing some of the history of the churches. One thing that was really incredible to hear was the role that South Carolina played in the Revolutionary War. And he explained correctly that really the South has been kind of written out of the importance in the Revolutionary War, and probably, because of the Civil War and the shame of slavery. The North takes a lot of credit in our history books, Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. and, New York. But really, one of the first battles in the end of August, right before July 4th, when the Declaration was voted on, there was a battle right there against the British that came, and they tried to take Charleston, which was the wealthiest city in the colonies at that time. And so the British did not want it to get out of their hands. And so they came and did a sea battle, brought a bunch of the most high-tech ships of that time with cannons, and they lost the battle and left, went back to England. And that news got to the Continental Congress, and they were afraid to sign the Declaration of Independence until after the news of them winning the battle happened. And then later in August, they signed the Declaration of Independence. Until then, it was just a voice vote. And there were over 90 battles fought in South Carolina and North Carolina, Georgia, that really turned the tide of the war. So that was kind of interesting to hear. I think that even to this day, the Civil War has caused a lot of shame upon the South, and a lot of and lingering, we're not really respected the way we should be respected. I get that sense when you learn about it. So South Carolina has a proud history, despite the really horrible nature of slavery. There are a lot of other really wonderful things, and they would like people to know that. So that was an interesting part of the tour. But we then did a drive around and showed her the other sites that were more good for her to see, that we thought she would want. And we went to a dinner at a place that she had looked up in advance, and had a nice afternoon. So that was a good first day. Okay, let's see what the little IKEA elves are bringing us today. Oh, that looks good. It's one of those little chocolate cups again. Something yummy inside. All right, and here is 20. Yay. Waffles, this one's not for you. This one's not for you, it's for me. And because I know Diane doesn't like these, I get it. Well, she knows it's her turn now. We can't go so long without you getting something, huh? Let's see what it is. Oh, look what's in your box. It's more of those pretzel treats. Well, they're shaped like pretzels. They're not actually pretzels. Let's get you one. There you go. Oh. Off to the carpet. Okay, let's show you a few more ornaments. Some new ones this year from our journey across the country. We went to Waco, Texas to see the Magnolia Silos with Chip and Joanna Gaines, and that was great. And then we went to Laurel, Mississippi, and we saw Ben and Aaron Napier's location, their store, and here's the Flying Scotsman, or not flying, just Scotsman truck. And then also went to see Clint, his shop, and got this piece of wood at Harp Studios. And the reason why we got this is because it's the same as the one that we hang by our garage door coming into the house. And let me show you that again. The chalkboard ornament is a replica, a small version of this big wood round, which I love, and put our phrase of our video on it, be good to others. And that's right here as you come in the house from the garage. And so I thought that was a good thing to get the ornament as well. All right, well, let's look at today's story as we continue in the story of Jesus' birth, and actually looking a little later as he's growing up as a young boy. Luke records another interesting incident in Jesus' life as he's growing up in Luke chapter 2, 41 through 52. And as was the custom, Jewish families would go to Jerusalem for a festival, the Passover festival. And when Jesus was 12 years old, they attended the festival, Luke says, as usual. And after the celebration, they started to go home to Nazareth, but Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. And his parents didn't miss him at first because, they were, the whole village was going back and they're all a crowd going together, and they thought he was just off playing with some other kids or something. I don't know. But when he didn't show up in the evening, they started looking for him among the relatives and friends, and they couldn't find him. So they went back to Jerusalem to search for him there. 3 days later, it says, they finally discovered him in the temple, sitting amongst the religious teachers, listening to them and asking questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. His parents didn't know what to think. They said, "Son," his mother said to him, "why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been frantic, searching for you everywhere." And here's Jesus' reply, "But why did you need to search? Didn't you know that I must be in my Father's house?" But they didn't understand what he meant. And so it says, then he returned to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. And his mother, again this phrase, stored all these things in her heart. Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and all the people. So a couple things, just the incident of Jesus' life and a family looking for their son, that's all pretty commonplace every day. But what's not commonplace is that Jesus' reply, and of course his wisdom and understanding of Scripture and everything at 12 years old, and how it amazed the religious leaders. But in terms of application for us, I think there's a great phrase here that Jesus said, "Why did you need to search? Didn't you know that I would be at my Father's house?" And I think that Jesus says he will reward all those who seek him and find him. He will bless them and he will fill them. And I think sometimes we go searching for answers, as the song says, in all the wrong places. And we just need to realize that Jesus is where he said he would be. The answers are where he said they would be. They are kind of clear and obvious that they are with God. And why wouldn't we go there? And of course, we're looking everywhere else for answers in our lives. And I'm not trying to shame any of us. I'm just saying, and neither is Jesus, to be perfectly honest. He's just saying, I've made it clear. And if this is what you really want, this is where you'll find me. And and sometimes we get a little caught up in our own expectations and what we think and where we think answers should be. So I hope as you're making room in your heart this holiday season that you're experiencing a different side of Christmas, and that you're enjoying that. We enjoyed having our daughter show up yesterday. We spent the afternoon and evening, going around town, seeing historical things, as you saw the carriage ride, and then we went to Phil and Kim's for the evening so she could see them, and it was nice. It was nice. So looking forward to the next few days with her, and thank you for spending some time with me as well here on our channel and on this Vlogmas. And I hope you're going to have a blessed Christmas, and that you've set aside expectations and are just enjoying what is showing up, and enjoying the people around you. God bless you. Be good to others. Bye-bye.